Good morning, ladies and gents. Good morning to the 15% of women that are watching and the 85% of men. What is this from Timmy Dog? Good morning from Japan. I have Japanese government national health insurance, own 3 homes, as anyone in the world can buy property 100% in their name. I love it here. Here is H-E-R-E, not H-E-A-R. However, I do visit Thailand 3 times a year. Thailand is a great place to visit. It's a very nice place to visit. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the news, and also there are some people slightly miffed, or they were left pondering why the Philippines is not in the top 10 of my list of places for Americans to go. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Welcome, everybody. But right off the bat, we're going to talk a little bit about the news. Today is a very big day in Thailand because the Constitutional Court is set to decide the fate of, I guess you call him former Prime Minister or Prime Minister on hold, Prayut Chan-o-cha. So, yeah, I don't know what time this is going to happen, but there are 3 possible starting points to count his term as the Prime Minister, because, you know, you're only allowed 8 years. The first is in 2014, August 24, 2014, when he first assumed the premiership following the coup that he led in May that year. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Sawatdee, Ton Chow. Sawatdee. So that would mean that his term is up. And I believe that's when they should start counting it. The second is April 6th of 2017, which is when the current Constitution, the revised Constitution, came into effect. Now, how can they start counting it from then? I'm sorry, I don't buy that. And finally, June 9th, 2019, he assumed the premiership following the general election in March of that year. And March of 2023 is when the elections here are set. I'm not sure when in March. I think it's the end of March. Oh, no, it's not. It's actually May. I thought I saw March. May 7th. May 7th is the tentative date of the next general election here. They're going to put him back into, well, I don't know how they can put him back into power, honestly, but they may, until the election in this coming May. That may happen. I don't know. But I don't think there's a chance in hell he's going to be in power until 2027. I think this place would go nuts if they allow him to be in. I mean, that's another 4 or 5 years. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. So that's why this is a big day. It says some analysts have pointed out that unless the court rules Prayut has completed his 8-year tenure, its verdict is unlikely to state when he would be completing his maximum period in office, as the opposition petition did not ask this question. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're thinking. And this is what Thai politics. You think politics in the United States is bad? Thai politics is 10 times worse. But it is rather important. Most Thais don't think he's doing a good job. They don't like him, and they don't want him in power. And yet, you know, he didn't really, well, I'm not going to get into how he got elected or anything like that, because that's a little more questionable than, say, the last election in the United States. Good morning, Sir Andy. Are you still in Vietnam? My wife just got back from Vietnam. And actually, she's going. I don't know if I'm going to go. I'm always wondering, am I going to go this time? Maybe. But, you know, she's really busy, and so it's not like we get to go and hang out together. Basically just for me. And there's a lot of things to take care of when she's gone. And, you know, it's gotten a little bit more difficult to lead when she's not here. Oh, you've been back home 2 days. Yeah, she's been back since... Oh, she's been back like 5 days now. She doesn't. The first time she got to see a few things, she got to have a little bit of fun. This last time she was working most of the time, and she did go over to one of her coworkers, her Vietnamese coworkers' houses, and the girl cooked dinner and, you know, gave her the Vietnamese spread and all that. So she got to indulge. That was pretty nice. Good morning, Mr. Johnny Siam. Johnny Siam from Oz, the Wizard of Oz, Johnny Siam. So let's see here. So yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to get too much into this politics thing here, but you know, Prayut, to me, I never have liked him, but then I don't think I've really liked any of the politicians that have ever been in power. Have you ever liked it? I'm talking to Mr. Tom here. You know, Mr. Tom, he's here. He's starting to make Starbucks his regular hangout again. Have you ever liked a Thai politician, Tom? Have you ever liked a Thai politician? A Thai prime minister? Has there ever been one that you really liked? You were like, man, this guy's got it going on. He's a great prime minister. I can't remember one. He didn't exactly like foreigners. That's okay too. Well, okay. I didn't like him. I called him Pumpkinhead. I hope they never let him back in. Anyway, all right, let's get off the politics, all right? Because every time we get into politics, you know, it gets messy. Now, another thing going on is the cabinet, the Thai cabinet is set to rule on whether Thailand will start charging international tourists a fee to enter the country. You know, you remember that this was a big thing, and they were talking about, oh, when you come in, you pay, but you're going to get insurance, and you're going to get this, and oh, we're going to use it for this and that. Now they're not really talking about the insurance so much anymore, and the numbers don't add up. So you know, I don't know what they're going to end up doing with this, but they say that there's a study of this proposed fee that should be completed within the next few days and presented to the cabinet. Then the cabinet is going to meet next month, sorry. Under the current proposals, foreigners arriving in Thailand by air would be charged 300 baht, while those arriving by land, sea, or rail could be charged between 100 and 200 baht. If the cabinet approves the fees, we will start to collect the fees soon. There's always that vagueness. Tourism fee of question of when, not if. And listen, you know, when you think about it, there are many countries that charge an entry fee. It's, you know, either tacked on to the entry fee that is tacked on to the airfare. Mr. Tom, you have a fan here. He says he really enjoyed your interview. And his name happens to be Tom, and he happens to be from Florida as well. Where in Florida he would like to know. Wait a second here. What is this? Problem with the said political person that reflects upon his personal set. Lots remember Nana. Yeah, you forget about Nana, what he did to Nana Plaza. Let's see here. Beautiful weather. I'm used to 35 plus weather. Well, Andy, I got to tell you that Australia almost made the list. It is in the top 20. And I'll talk a little more about this in a few minutes, but Orlando. He's in Orlando. So you're how far away from Orlando is your place, mother's place? 2 hours west. Yeah, Tom is 2 hours west of you, Tom. Hey, before I get going, you see this great shirt, the one I'm sweating into, because they don't turn the air on here, and it's still rather hot. I'm sweating. I'm not gonna say it. I'm sweating. Hey, if you want a great shirt, go to AnAmericanInBangkok.com. And also, there's hats, and there is a mug up there right now. And I finally started getting my act together with the merch there. So there's a lot of merch that will be going up in the near future. Keep checking back at AmericanInBangkok.com. Also, every once in a while, there's a little something written up on the site. Just go to AmericanInBangkok.com, and you'll see the videos and then some accompanying text and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a good thing. And don't forget what's the other thing? The join button is now available in Thailand. I'm very surprised. I saw it, and it's like, hey, if you want to send a super thanks, I saw this on one of the videos the other day. I'm like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they didn't allow it in the first place. I don't know what the problem. Thailand is always a little slow. If you remember, it used to be very difficult to get an ATM card that worked online. Yes, a thumbs up is equally appreciated, as is your participation in the chat. Now, as I said, we got this 300 baht thing. 300 baht is not going to put people. That's not even $10 now. That's like $8.70 or something. That's not going to stop people from coming in. But, there are critics of this. And that is, well, they're talking about the insurance, and really all the numbers don't add up. So we know how things work, or at least we think we know how things work here. And what we know is the transparency is not there. And that's what I think some people want, and the tourist and the tourist groups and the travel agencies here in Thailand are against it, because they're like, listen, why are you adding an expense to coming into Thailand when people have just been through a pandemic? This is the last thing they want, is to have to pay additional money. However, what I always used to say is, if you are coming over here and you're going to spend, listen, every time I came over here, if I came over here for 4 days, I would spend, say, $600 when I was here, and I'd spend $600 on airfare. But most of the time I didn't come over here for 4 days. I came over for more like 10 days. So I would spend I would figure at least $100 a day plus lodging. So we're going to say $125 a day times $10. That was $1,250 plus, so we're approaching $2,000. I'd spend at least $2,000. You're going to spend $2,000. $10 is not that much money. If you're bitching about $10, then you don't need to be traveling. Really. I'll never forget, and I've told this story probably 100 times. I went to Kanchanaburi once, and I was there on the cheap. I purposely went to what's it called now? It's called the Smiley Frog now. It used to be called the Jolly Frog. That was the place where I had a little accident. I had a little intestinal problem, and I had an accident in one of their rooms. Anyway, the place was cheap. It was like 300 baht. And then I go in, and there's this girl, and I go, and she's like asking me, oh, can I help you? I said, you work here? She's like, oh, yeah, I work here part-time. I said, oh, really? Well, how does that work? She goes, oh, I get a free room. For helping out. Which, okay, I understand that. Illegal, but whatever. It's not a big deal. That's how it works in a lot of places. And she says, yeah, what room do you have? And I said, I got like the 320 baht room or whatever. I thought the chick was going to drop her drawers right then, because it was like I was in a mansion or something. She was in the 50 baht a night room, which was like, it was like a closet. Anyway, she was, we were talking, as men and women do. And she brought up how she's got to get her visa. She's got to get her visa, renewed or extended or whatever the hell it was. And she's bitching because she's got to spend it was like $40 or $50. She was bitching because she had to spend $50 to go and get a visa extension. She had to leave the country, and she was going to take a van, just go get stamped out, come right back in and get stamped in. I'm like, you're bitching about $50? And I'm like, I kind of figured that she might be able to stay for a week on $50 or 10 days. So it doesn't surprise me that there are people bitching. If you close the door, the air will stay in, the aircon that they're now. Why did they put that? Did you see them put that there? Did you see them put that out in front of the door where nobody can open the door?
Well, I pushed the door in and came in. You tried to pull it out.
Yeah, when you open the door,
I saw it was blocked, yes.
they have the sign out there. It's blocking the door. You got to push it in, I guess. Anyway, they left the door open, and they just started the air right now. Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. Sawadee kap. Sawadee ton chow. Hello, all. I go by him, he, Mr. Bastard, Chowderhead. I go by whatever the fuck you want to call me. Am I allowed to say fuck on this chat? Am I allowed to say fuck on my chat? Can I say that?
Which platform are you on?
YouTube.
Probably not.
Yeah, well, I said it, so fuck it. I'm not in the mood to hear about he, she, her, him, them. Yeah, move to Rumble. Rumble doesn't pay anything, although YouTube barely pays anything either. But anyway, let's move on. So we know about the 300 baht thing. If you're bitching about 300 baht, OnlyFans. No, because they're going to expect things from me then. They're going to expect me to, show my hot ass or something. That's not going to happen. Listen, Chucky will be over here soon. Me and Chuck want to do a little, we want to do a little interview stream together in the next week or two. Anyway, now they've supposedly, one more thing here, supposedly the Thai government has a memorandum of understanding signed with the Krung Thai Bank to implement a payment system to facilitate the collection of the fee and handle transactions via website, smartphone, and via air ticketing systems. Now, I don't know why they're making it so complicated. Okay, yeah, see, here's what it says here. Previous proposals, nothing in this proposal, of the fee stated that tourists would be eligible for a maximum of 500,000 baht for medical expenses should they have an accident or fall ill. Meanwhile, in the event of death, the tourist family would be eligible for a maximum compensation of up to 1 million baht. All right, so basically, this doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you much aside from what you've already been told, but it's worth keeping an eye on. And, really, nobody gives a shit. If you come here and you don't have insurance, the government is going to, really, at the end of the day, I don't care. 300 baht's not going to put me, oh my God, I can't go because I've got to pay this 300 baht. Critics say the fee would potentially put people off from visiting Thailand in favor of other destinations. I got news for you. Thailand used to be where it was at. It used to be the place. Visiting, living here, whatever, it was the hot spot. It's not the hot spot anymore. It's gone down the list. And that's why it was number 8 or number 7 on the list that I put up. And, it barely squeaked in there. Many countries around the world, including Switzerland, Japan, New Zealand, France, Spain, Germany, Portugal, and Bali in Indonesia, as well as most Caribbean islands, have implemented some form of tourist tax. Okay? So there you go. Now, one other thing, Bangkok is near the bottom of the latest world work-life balance ranking. That's not good. It used to be that, when it used to be that when the Thais were working, it was all about, oh, sanuk, get the job done, but sanuk, we have to have fun. It seems they're a little more serious about it than people think. They ranked number 96 out of 100 countries in this year's work-life balance index. Last year, there were only 50 cities, and Bangkok was ranked 49 of the 50 cities considered in 2021. I can tell you from what I know, a lot of Thais are working all the time. They may be sitting at a little food stall or something like that, but they are working all the time. Cities ranked at the bottom include Bangkok, Sao Paulo, Kuala Lumpur, Dubai, and Cape Town. Okay. All right. Now, you're going to love this one. And we're going to get into this list that I brought up the other day. They work too many days and hours and get cheated on their overtime pay. Yeah, some of them definitely get cheated. And I can tell you that, like, for instance, my wife has a contract. I've looked at the contract. She works far more hours than what is in the contract. She's only supposed to work, I think, 10 hours with including the breaks and lunch per day. But that she works all the time. She's constantly working. Even when we went home to the States, she was working. And she feels an obligation to her clients. So, that's the way it is. But let me find this. My problem is too much life and not enough work. I know the feeling. All right, what was I looking for here? Where was I? Oh, the traffic. Okay. Bangkok's traffic congestion, according to TomTom.com, which is a manufacturer of, what is it they do? It has to do with the traffic index. That's what it is. Wow. Okay. So that's what they specialize in. And guess where Bangkok is? I'm always complaining about the traffic here. Bangkok is number 17. Number 17 in the world out of many, many countries. Okay, they're number 17 in what they consider to be Asia. But let me clear all. Let me just, how can I hit all here? I don't know how many countries they have, but they have a lot. 404 cities across 58 countries on 6 continents. Our traffic index ranks urban congestion worldwide and provides free access to city-by-city information. You, along with drivers, city planners, automakers, and policy makers, can use the index to help tackle traffic-related challenges. And I've been griping about the traffic here for quite some time. Bangkok is number 17. And it's number 74 in the world from all the places that they ranked. Let me do something here. Ho Chi Minh is pretty bad. Let's see. Oh, they don't have Vietnam on here. Wow. They do not have Vietnam on this list, which is a shame. The worst, and number 5 in the world, is Mumbai, India. Okay? the top 3 places are in India: Mumbai, Bengaluru, and New Delhi. That's number 1, 2, and 3 in Southeast Asia. The congestion levels are 48% to over 50%. Mumbai is 53%. Tel Aviv in Israel, 43%. Time lost per year, 98 hours. And then you got number 5, Tokyo. This is in Asia. Number 6 is Manila. Manila's traffic is horrible. And if you're trying to go to like Angeles City, at least in the old days, my God, it was horrible. Manila, you've got to get out a little bit and go into the right areas of Manila. I used to stay in Makati quite often. That's where I would stay. I'd stay at the Sheraton in Makati, and that was not too bad. That was decent. But getting around Manila, going from one end to the other, it was a nightmare. But Hong Kong is number 12, number 47 in the world. I don't know how that is. And Bangkok is number 17 in Asia, number 74 in the world. 71 hours lost per year in Bangkok. The congestion level is 31%, which is down 22% from 2019 and 13% from 2020. And I suspect it's going to drop even more once the SkyTrain is finished, the monorail is finished. Let me see something real quick here. Hang on a second. I'm trying to find out when this yellow line here is supposed to be finished. June 2023. The first section, January 2023. So that's not too much longer. July, August, September. So you got about 8-9 months before the whole thing is finished, which is great. And even less for the first portion. And I suspect that is going to reduce the traffic. I don't know how much, but by a lot, I would think. I hope the hurricane missed you. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but I spoke to my parents today because I was wondering about it, and it did miss them, but then they're farther south. I don't know if Ho Chi Minh is worse than Bangkok or not. That's a good question. I really would like to know. I don't know if it's worse. Depends on where you are, you know. All good. Yeah, Sanibel is the place that really got hit. Sanibel Island. I don't know how anyone drives around Bangkok. The motorcycles everywhere are never again. Aside from the danger of the motorcycle, I mean, I used to ride motorcycles all the time, and I had a few accidents. You know, when I used to drive cars, I drove a bit too fast, and when I drove motorcycles, I drove a bit too fast also. And I had a couple of nice bikes at one point, and I always had to be careful because I tended to jump on it a little bit too much. But here in Bangkok, the real danger is, as always with a motorcycle, is that you are not seen by the person in the car or persons in cars. So, all right, let me see here though. This is the traffic. Now, getting back to this list, I gotta pull this bad boy up. Or do I have it here? Let's see here. I don't know if I have it here. I can remember most of it. I got some, yeah, I do have it actually. I got some messages, basically about the Philippines. I had a couple messages regarding the Philippines. Why is the Philippines not in the top 10? Because there's too much poverty. it's too much of a shithole in too many places. I know there's some beautiful, fantastic places. I spent a lot of time in the Philippines. Not only that, there's traffic up the yin yang if you're in Manila. And for me, the food, while there are some very delicious dishes, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't compare to Thailand's food. Now, what I did for this list of 10, and I'll run the 10 by you guys real quick right now. Number 10 was Colombia. Number 9 was Spain. Number 8 was Vietnam. Number 7 was Thailand. Number 6 was Ireland. Number 5 was Portugal. Number 4 was Costa Rica. Number 3 was Canada. Number 2 was Ecuador. And number 1 was Mexico. Now, these are for Americans. So, if you notice, Mexico, Ecuador, Canada, Costa Rica, the top 4 are in close proximity to the United States. And like Mexico has 1.5 million American expats there. How can you say that's not the number 1 destination? It is. And I like Mexico. I really like it a lot. The list was compiled by me from about 5 or 6 different lists. And I can tell you that Australia was on a couple of the lists, New Zealand was on a couple of the lists, and New Zealand is just a little bit too isolated to put it on the top 10 list. You know, Australia has, because it's a continent, and it's huge, it has a lot to offer throughout the country and the continent. Number 5 was Portugal, which is not the best place for single guys. And from what I understand, I have a friend who has gone there several times, and he's in the process of moving there. It's a place for people who are a bit older. It's not one of these places like Thailand used to be. Even Thailand, the demographic that is coming here, the demographic of tourists, the demographic of expat that is moving here tends to be 40 to 50 years of age, just starting out, and really older than that. There are not even as many young tourists coming here. Not like in oh, I gotta go there on a gap year. You know, some guy's 19 years old and he's coming here. Well, that's the thing about Australia. That's why I didn't put it in the list. It is in the top 20 for sure. I don't know about top 15, maybe. I didn't really worry about number 11 through 20. But yeah, the cost of living is a bit high there. But we're not talking about, oh, this is only for broke Americans. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who have a halfway decent income. In Colombia, I said that what they said was the average that people were spending was about $1,500 a month. They were living off of. It was $1,500 a month, but the range was $1,000 to $2,500. Ireland, the cost of living is, well, you say that, but in the United States, people want to get out of the United States, and then you got millions of people around the world who want to get into the United States. So that's nothing new. The same goes with the Dutch. A lot of the Dutch are like, I want to get out of here. But people want to go to the Netherlands. They want to stay there. Because like I keep saying, and I've said for years and years and years and years, even before I had a YouTube channel, is that living in a place and visiting a place are completely different. Now, where are we at here? What was it? I said number 9. Yeah, okay. Number 10 was Colombia. Now, I've been to Medellin, and I loved it there. I don't know if I'd love living there, but I loved visiting there for a couple of weeks. I thought it was a great place, and there was a lot of class there. It was, and I don't mean class as in like in India. I mean, the people were very classy in the, I would say, lower middle class areas. You know, the women took pride in how they dressed, and it was a really, I really liked the place. Would I live there? It's not my top choice, but that's because I'm not into, really, I'm just not into, I don't think I could be into that. And even Ecuador, you know, I think it's a great place, and from what I know, the benefits of being there outweigh the fact that, you know, like, oh, well, I like Asia better than South America. So the Philippines, you know, no offense to the Philippines, because I think there's some beautiful places there. And could I live there? Yes. Do I want to live there? No. I don't. And I've spent a lot of time there. I haven't been there in many years now. It's been maybe 8-9 years. Listen, one thing that struck me in Medellin, and I mean this with all sincerity, I'm not, you know, like, most guys are not into big women. At least most guys I know. They don't want some chick who's, you know, 150, 200 pounds. You know, maybe there's some guys out there, but what I noticed there's even the larger women, they took very good care of themselves to the point where I was like, damn, this is a big woman, she's looking good. I couldn't believe it. They take a lot of pride in how they present themselves. Anyway, you know, you don't move to a country simply for the chicks. The chicks are like the icing on the cake. Hey there, John, how you doing? Oh, that's right, you are one of the ones that likes some big. You told me that. I forgot. Well, they got some big ones here in Thailand too. There's some big girls here, but you know, I just remember like in coffee shops, and I was like, man, this girl's a big girl, but she looks good. I was like, holy shit, you know. She outweighed me. Some of them were like outweighing me, and I'm like, holy shit, man. Yeah, well, I'm not into that kind of thing, you know. Anyway, so, you know, there was a couple of people. I'm going to read a couple of things here. Let me get to this comment thing here. Very good video, Scott. Very surprised the Philippines is not on the list. Are these your choices or from another site? They're from multiple sites, and they are this is my list that I have thought about it myself because I've been to many of these places on the list and spent a fair amount of time in them. Another one that somebody complained to me about is, yeah, that would bug me, was Cambodia. And yet another one was Malaysia. You know, Malaysia's kind of like a place, there's people that, you know, Singapore was on some of the lists, and I'm like, listen, I've been in Singapore. It would drive me nuts to live in Singapore. I spent a month in Singapore once, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. You know, it was just it was too much about business. Oh, God. You 150 kilo. Oh, I have to pay 1,000 baht for 1 kilo. No, I think I want girl 90 kilo. Yeah, you see, you live in Singapore and you say it sucks. Even to visit there, I say if you visit Singapore for 4 or 5 days at the most, I'm not somebody who's going to go into the casino unless there's a big fight or something like that. You know, after 4 or 5 days, it's enough. And that's pushing it. So, you know, I don't know how these people are surprised. I thought there was another one on here that I saw about the Philippines. But, you know, the thing with the Philippines is, imagine living right outside of Klong Toei. You're constantly going through it. You know, that's just, I don't want to live that kind of a life. to where I'm around that poverty all the time. It's, I understand it happens, but it's depressing. That's why I don't go there that much anymore, because it's depressing. I've been there, 20 times, 25 times, whatever. It's depressing. I don't want to be depressed. So you have to pick and choose where you're going to live in the Philippines. What I will say is it is in the top 15 for Americans. I don't know about for others. But I think for Americans, the fact is that they speak English. Most of them speak English, and that's a big draw. Now, I did look at something because I was trying to figure it out. The people are friendly, just like in Thailand, just like in many. Listen, if you really want to look at it, people in Vietnam are friendly. To me, people in China, not overly friendly. People in Korea, not overly friendly. It takes time. They're not just friendly just because they feel like being friendly. And I'm generalizing, okay? This guy has vibrant lifestyle. Okay. It is affordable, just like many places in Southeast Asia. The food, for me, is nowhere near what it is in Thailand or Vietnam. And so that just it's draining. And not only that, the crime there, because of the poverty. The people are very nice and all that stuff. To each his own. There are going to be some people who prefer the Philippines over Thailand. I prefer Thailand over the Philippines. I always have. And it basically boils down to, this place fits my personality more. I'm more like, hey, I don't, I want things to be mellow. I don't want to be bugged all the time. I don't want to be harassed or I don't want that. The pollution is bad in Manila. The pollution is bad in Bangkok. In the Philippines, you can't buy property. There is a tax for foreigners. The weather is crappy. When I mean crappy, I mean I shouldn't have said crappy. I'm sorry. The weather can be draining, just like here. Although now it's a little cooler, but it's still very humid. The weather is something that you tolerate the heat. And in the Philippines, it can be just as bad, if not worse, than here. And if you're someone who needs the public health care system there, no. If you got money and you want to stay in a money area and I know people here that have been here for 30 years, they don't speak more than 4 or 5 words of Thai. They just don't want to. I mean, look at John-o, and he's a guy. He's been here for 3 years. He's been here for 3 years, but my other buddy's been here for almost 30. And he and John-o probably speak about the same amount of Thai. Sawatdee Kap, Kap Kun Kap, Tao Rai. That's about it. So, I'm not trying to bash the place, but, I would probably, honestly, I don't know, I really got to think about this. But to me, Cambodia and the Philippines are neck and neck right now. The problem with Cambodia is that it's going to be influenced greatly by the Chinese, because the Chinese are dumping all kinds of money into the place. Now, my buddy Scott is getting ready to move there. In fact, next week he's going on a little scouting mission to see if he can he's already got a storage unit and everything. He's waiting to pull the trigger on an apartment. And I don't know, I think he'll do well there because He doesn't have a family. No, the thing with Cambodian food is if you're going to eat Cambodian food, it's just kind of like go to a restaurant. If you want to eat off the street, then maybe you'll have some problems. I don't know. I never had any problems with the food, and there is a French influence to the food, and there's some great restaurants in Phnom Penh. You go to other places, forget about it. You go to other cities, there might be some good places, or you might find yourself eating some junk. Yeah, I'm curious to know what you think about the place, Andy. That'll be nice to know. But I do think it is a good place to settle down if you're somebody and you're a little older and you got a pension coming in, you got your Social Security coming in. It's better for visas. It's more easy. But being easier for visas does not necessarily make the place a better place to live. Sometimes there's a reason why it's easier, because they know if we make it harder, we're not going to get that many people. And really, Thailand can be a little iffy with the visas because they're not always clear. There's a lot of vagueness in the wording of their guidelines. Okay, let's look at the language in both PAI and Thailand. There are a lot of different local dialects, but both countries' languages and English are both taught. Well, I personally think that the PI has the edge in the language department. They have an easier time because the Thai language and the way that they're raised speaking Thai makes it a little difficult to say some things in English. But the other thing is that there are some Thais. I met a guy the other day. He's like, usually I don't pick up foreigners, but when you started speaking to me in Thai, I figured, what the hell, because I know I can understand you. He wouldn't pick up foreigners. The guy was missing out. I'm like, well, maybe you should learn how to speak a few words of English. He's like, I'm 57 years old. I'm too old. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to have to. He doesn't want to do the work. So I understand. Everywhere I ate in Cambodia was good except for the Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, that was memorable. Cambodia has some good food. Chucky's not going to be landing here he's leaving in a little bit, I think in about a week he's leaving for Taiwan. And then he'll be in Thailand 4 weeks after that. He's supposedly going to be splitting his time up between Taiwan and Thailand. And, I think he'll openly admit he does travel for his love life. He doesn't mind doing that because he gets to see a foreign land and, he gets to experience it and he gets to have his fun. We all miss Chucky. No, I think what you guys really miss is Chucky harassing me. Chucky giving me a hard time. That's what you guys miss. It's kind of like one of those things where Chucky will come in and I'll be, hey man, great to see you and stuff. After about 15 minutes, we're both like going at it, which is, it's bullshit. Chucky. Anyway, I think that Malaysia is another place. People don't think about Malaysia, but to me, I guess it depends on where you're going to live in Malaysia and how well you know the country. I know some people that know it very well, and they really do like it. If I had the choice right now, I probably would not live. I would not live in Bangkok. But I'm not sure where I would live. I don't think I would. I'm not ready to live in the village. I'm not going off into the shrub to die. I'm not there yet. This is the other thing, you know, it's like that's why I always say Thailand's better days are behind it. It doesn't mean you can't have fun here. If a cheeseburger is 25 bucks in the United States and the price of a cheeseburger in Thailand's gone from 50 cents to $3, well, it's still cheaper. It's still good. Burundi. Oh yeah, let's go to Burundi. I'm gonna go live in Burundi. The only reason that anybody would live in Burundi is if they work for the UN or some NGO. That's the only reason. Actually, Ghana has some high ratings, and it made the list. It probably, I don't know if I put it in the top 20, maybe the top 50. I should make up a top 50 list. That's really hard to do, though, because it's all subjective. All right, I gotta say it one more time. Get your t-shirt. It doesn't have to be a green one. It can be green if you want. It can be black, it can be white. I got polo shirts. We got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, well, the hobo traveler lives on a little bit lower budget than most people want to live on. Oh, God. I know some people that have been there, and it is, it's like Africa with training wheels. That's where you go first. Everybody's gone now. All the old staff is gone. They only work, I'd say they work maybe twice a week. The old ones, they might work twice a week here, that's it. Now they have all these other people. I don't even know who they are. I have no desire to get to know them or anything. You know. I grew accustomed to seeing the same people, and they opened this place up when it first opened, this particular location. And so times change. All right, what else do we have here? There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Now, I'll tell you how bad the congestion is in Bangkok. The Thai authorities are considering imposing a congestion charge here in Bangkok to ease the traffic jams and air pollution, making it potentially the second major Asian city to implement such a policy. So the Thai Transportation Department and a German development agency, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, they're looking at they're doing a feasibility study. The charges that they're speaking of range from 50 baht to 120 baht. So basically how this works is they're going to divide the city up into zones. And if you're going from one zone to another in an automobile, or I guess maybe a motorcycle as well, maybe it'll be cheaper by vehicle, there's going to be a congestion charge. Now, it didn't say what the other... Okay, Singapore has a congestion charge. Stockholm and London are among the big cities that already collect congestion charges, while Oxford in the UK this year started levying charges on non-electric vehicles in its center. I like Amsterdam. I like other parts of the Netherlands more than I like Amsterdam. I mean, it's a big city. But Amsterdam is a cool place, very cool. However, it is also a very cold place. So if you don't like the cold and the snow, and let me tell you something, the last time that I went, I don't know what year it was, I went to a convention, I think it was in Colombia. I don't know if it was Colombia or maybe it was Nicaragua, I don't know. But I stopped off in Amsterdam for 3 days. And then I went to Florida, saw my parents, and then I went to, I think it was Nicaragua, Panama and Nicaragua is where I went on that trip. And it was freezing, man. And then on the way back, I stopped again and stayed in, I think I stayed 4 days on the way back. It was so cold. I went walking around in the city, and I just was in Amsterdam. And I went to all, like I went to the Bulldog and the Milkweg and all these places. But it was so cold that I would walk for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I gotta find a cafe. I'm freezing my balls off. I had gloves, I had, big, thick, long sleeves, thermal underwear, jacket, big, thick jacket. And every 20 to 30 minutes, I would stop in a cafe and get a hot cocoa, hot chocolate. Because it was so cold, I needed to warm up. And that's a little bit too cold. That's just a little too cold. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Wondering, I figure you were just, I always figure you're busy. I'm also wondering where Richard Gallagher is. Haven't heard or seen from him in quite some time. How's it going out your way, Steve? Congestion charge, as the SkyTrain does cover a larger area, traffic should be lower, and as the grand plan, the mass people transit system. Yeah, this is what I keep saying, is that I really believe that the public taxis, they're going to have a hard time making it in the future, because they're just going to expand these monorails, BTS, MRT, the bus, the electric buses. Next year, they're supposed to implement it. They're going to start putting into effect the electric buses. They already have electric boats. They're going to start having more boats, and they're going to start going back to what Thailand, or Bangkok rather, used to be, which is, it was a city that you got around by water. So it's a good alternative to use the canal boats. And I always say that. And if you learn how to use just the CASHAPP canal boat, that's a major step, because you can get around very easily. I'm going to see my buddy tomorrow, my buddy Scott, and I may go see Jono before that. And the way that I'm going to go is I just jump on the boat, I get off, and I take a little motorbike. It cost me like 50 baht. Take a motorbike. Cost me like, I don't know, 19 baht on the boat. Cost me, it's less than $2 to go and $2 to get back. Actually, I'm gonna have to, if I go to Jono's, I'm gonna have to go from Jono's, and I'll probably take the SkyTrain to the subway. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. All right, what time is it? Oh, it must be 10 o'clock. No, Jono's back, man. Jono's back. Jono's been back for a couple days. I need him to help me sharpen my knives, actually. I got a couple of knives that need sharpening, and he's good at it. And for some reason, I got one of those things that you, and I don't know what happened to it. We got so much stuff in our kitchen. I don't know what happened to it. Jono is back. Jono, he come back. He come back. He very happy. All right, listen. I'm gonna give you guys a very nice little dish. It's a tuna casserole with rice, and I'm very proud of myself for making it. And here's what you do. You make up some rice. You get a can or two of tuna. You make the rice up. You chop up some onions. You throw the onions in the skillet or the wok or whatever you got. I always cook on a wok, which may be changing soon, because I've got a few things I want to make that I really need to get the what do you call it? The gas stove. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, because we've been thinking about getting a full-size wok. Forget the Rap God. I'm never going to Rap God again. Anyway, make your rice up. You saute some onions, and then you put the tuna in, you saute the tuna, you mix it up, just a little salt and pepper, a little, some spices to taste. Then you mix the onions and the tuna with the rice. You spread it out in a casserole dish. Slice up some tomatoes. You lay them across. So you got your better rice with tuna and onions. You put whatever vegetables you want. You put the tomato across the top. You cover them all up. Cover all the rice up. Then you get some cheese and spread that out. Then you get you can get cream. You can get a light pasta sauce. You mix it with some eggs. You mix it real good. It'll get liquidy. And then you pour it over the rice all throughout it, and then you bake it for about 15-20 minutes. Man, it's very easy to make. It's a little time consuming, but it's very easy to make. Alex and I ate it yesterday, and we were like, I can't believe this, how good this is. It was so good. And then the day before that, I made some pad thang qua, which is about, I have to start putting some of these recipes, especially for the Thai stuff. I have to start putting them up on my my website. The pad thang qua, very easy. It's just eggs and cucumber. Well, you basically just stir fry it. And then what else is in there? Is there anything else in it? Oh, some pork. And then you throw it right on there. Steve, how you doing? How's things? Are you ever coming back to Asia? You know, it was a good dish. I mean, you know, listen, I always call it peasant food. It's like peasant food. But the cucumbers with pork and everything like that, that's very, very good. Well, that's what I forgot to get yesterday. Forgot to get some oyster sauce. I'm getting into the cooking again because in the evening, I know when Alex is coming home most of the time. You know, he's down. He's only got to go to school 2 days a week now. I guess for the rest of his time in university, he's only got to go to 2 days a week, which is pretty good. Today I had some barbecue brisket, potato salad. Ooh, brisket, that sounds good. Potato salad, pinto beans on a peach cobbler sweet tea. My mother keeps telling me, you need to throw together a recipe book of all the stuff that you've like thrown together for the kids. You know, like where you're making a fried rice with like a nice sausage, that kind of thing. You know, I got a couple sausage left. Throw it in there. Get some rice that you put in the refrigerator. It's leftover rice. You make yourself a nice fried rice. You know. Steve, are you planning on coming back to Thailand anytime soon, or what's the deal now that things are opening up again? Can't wait to cook again in about a week or so. Have had to eat out for the last 7 weeks for every meal. Really? That does suck. I'll tell you what really sucks is right now is the vegetarian festival. I think it's still going on. Because yesterday, I go into Happy Land, I got some groceries. I go across, I'm like, I'm hungry, I want some lunch. Actually, it was my breakfast, I didn't have any breakfast. So I'm like, let me go and get something to eat. I go to the places that I like, all of them are closed. You know why? Because they sell pork. They sell chicken. And all the vegetarian places are open. And they have a little vegetarian festival right outside of it. So it's like, they don't want to, I guess it's not worth it to them. You there, Steve? Steve's been on the chats before. He's been on as a guest. I may start doing that again. I got to make sure that the whole system works. I'm going to really test it out this time because I'd like to do that. I'd like to have some people on. Anyway. All right, so was there anything else? Oh, I did see something about the kratom craze. Now, I've talked about this before. Kratom is a tree. And the leaves on the kratom trees, people, they eat them, they boil them, they cook with them, they do all kinds of stuff. Sliced also tomato and onion, add vinegar and fresh salmon, allowed to soak for a few hours. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah. I always love salmon. Anyway, the kratom. I guess Steve left. The kratom. Now, because kratom is legal, there are companies now that are preparing to release things like drinks, candies, so I guess they're waiting for the FDA approval here, and once they get that, it's going to start selling everywhere. They've got this carbonated beverage called OG Kratom. Now, you know, the other day I went into the market and I bought some kratom tea. The guy makes it himself. And this article, let me put this article up for you guys. This article is by Coconuts Thailand. But they have this OG Kratom. And what this OG Kratom says is, or what it says in Coconuts is, eclipsed by cannabis, Kratom gets you legally high without making you stupid, but it is addictive. I don't know how addictive it is. I guess if you're doing a shitload of it, it is, but not a lot of people know about this, and more people are thinking about the marijuana than kratom. But they're going to start releasing this and having drinks of it, and I can see places that specialize in it, and also places that, you know, they have restaurants that they have a couple dishes that have it in it. They're cooking with it or whatever, and they have drinks with it. And the guy that I get the stuff from once in a while is, man, this stuff is good. That's the reason. This lady tells me, oh, you can get some, he makes the tea. I said, oh, okay. Let me try it out. I tried it and I go, how come his tea is so much better than mine? So, anyway, guys and gals, what do you think about the list? Should Cambodia be in the top 10, top 15, top 20? Should the Philippines be in the top 10? Personally, I don't think so. Malaysia, I believe Malaysia should be in the top 20. And it's a country that I really would like to explore a lot more, and maybe that's what I'll do. I've been thinking quite a bit about, all right, I got to get back in the swing. I got to go out and do a few trips, because once I start doing them, I'll enjoy myself. But I would like to do some of these trips with the wife, and the other day she's like, maybe we should go to Chiang Mai, and I'm like, we were just there a couple of months ago. Thailand should be number one. Separate yourself from the sentimental aspect of it, the emotional aspect of it. Set all those things aside and look at it logically. I still think it belongs in the top 10, but there was a day when it was number 1, for sure. Number 1, number 2, for sure. Well, you say that. However, what I will say is this. From what I know, and I know a couple of people that have been there and that have stayed there for quite some time. I know one guy who lives there, and he's a very good friend of mine, and he doesn't mince words. If there were bad things about the place, he would tell me. And one of the things that is good about Ecuador is that you can get permanent residency there fairly easy. It's not that difficult to get permanent residency. That cannot be said for here. PI, in my thinking, should be in the bottom 10. People, do your research. I would say so also. Well, the lists do matter, and the reason is because they help you narrow down your choices. So in the top 10, I look at them, there was a time I thought, wow, I wonder if Canada would be a nice place. Now I would never live there. But that was 35 years ago when I thought about that. Borneo, I've been there. I've been to Borneo in Indonesia, though, not in Malaysia. I left Malaysia. I was in, what was it? I flew from KL to Kalimantan or East Kalimantan or something like that. And then I went to, where the hell was I? I don't remember where I was, but it was in Borneo. It was for all you have to do is look up Christian versus Juan Manuel Marquez. That was the fight that I was covering there. And I almost didn't make it there, but I managed to, so. Well, the thing is, some people don't know where to go. They haven't got a clue. And, you know, maybe I think what happens is you get this visual of a certain place. Like, when I first started thinking about Thailand, I had the visual of these lovely Thai girls Waiing and Muay Thai and beautiful beaches. That was my visual. When I think of the Philippines, I think of beautiful beaches and the city, which is crazy. Manila, I think about Manila. When I think of Vietnam, I think of the motorcycles in like Ho Chi Minh. So I think people, they form these visuals in their mind from movies they've watched, from what people have told them, from whatever. And then they look at a list and they go, wow, can I go to this place? What about that place? How feasible is it to this other place? My guess is that Thailand's medical care is better than most other countries on that list. Ecuador's medical care is quite good. Oh, it's raining again. Yeah, the rain is not going to let up here for about another week or so. And I would say if you're going to live in the Philippines, it pays to have private insurance. Amsterdam, very expensive. Well, it's not cheap. It's not cheap, that's for sure. But it's not, you know, it's not cheap to live in a place most of the time. You want to live on the cheap, you get what you pay for. That's the bottom line. I mean, if you want a TV, you can probably get a TV, pick a TV up at some little shop house for 2,000 baht with some Chinese piece of shit. You still a photographer? Once a photographer, always a photographer. Can't retire in the Netherlands. No visa for that. I don't think that's true, Gennaro. I think you have to invest is the way to do it there. But Vietnam is one of the reasons why they didn't rank higher, and I had thought about putting them higher in the past. I thought, oh wow, they're really working their way up quickly. And that is because their visa system is all over the place. And it's good you can use an agent there and all that kind of stuff, but who wants to have to go out of the country every 3 months, or who wants to have to worry about it? That they're going to change their mind whenever they feel like it. Anyway. Mexico's number one. Numero uno. With 1.5 million American expats in Mexico and its proximity to the United States, it's very difficult to not have Mexico on the list, and it's number one for a reason. They have made things a little more difficult to stay there recently, but it's still a great place. And, you know, I've been all over Mexico, and I love it there. I like it a lot. Strongly considering a move from Miami Beach after January. If I see doable apartments in either Hua Hin, Jomtien, or Phuket, my rent would stretch farther. Well, I don't know what doable is. There are doable apartments in every one of those areas. It's a matter of what you want. And I have a video coming up on the differences between Hua Hin, Pattaya, and Phuket. Where would I live? Which one would I choose? And it's a difficult choice because the cities are they're quite different. You know, each has their set of positives and negatives. Lots of construction going on in the main cities in Vietnam now. So many hotels, apartments being built. Yeah. I really like Vietnam. I don't know that I'll be going back anytime soon. There's just so many places I need to go. And I'd like to go to the United States before I go anywhere. But actually, Tom is going to the United States. I don't know when. But he said he priced the tickets. He got us tickets, actually. And they were almost $1,500 each. Which is crazy. Crazy money. 1,000 I can see, but 1,500? And, you know, if you're going 4 people, 6,000. The last time we paid like 3,200. It's all about expectations. Temper your expectations. If you go in saying, oh my God, Thailand's it's going to be so cheap, and you know what, I can have 3 girlfriends, and I'll be eating like a king every day, and it's going to cost me $500 a month. I saw this guy came out with a budget, it was $500 a month. I'm like, dude, you're out of your mind. He's out of his mind, this guy. It's on some blog somewhere, and it was relatively new. It's like, oh, I could live in Chiang Mai for $500 a month. And I'm like, yeah, you're living like a pauper. I think he had $100 a month budgeted for food. So he's eating street food every single day. Yeah, man, I would not rent a car in Vietnam. No way. Not me. Anyway, what I was saying about the Batam is that they're trying to make it something that will rival the weed industry here. I don't think that's ever going to happen. It says in this article, it says, we've actually been developing products and want to make just a small batch before it's legal, but it seems like now we can work on trying to get the FDA and everything right. They're going to make drinks like sparkling kratom or tea drink. They have an Earl Grey kratom drink. Yeah, keep your eyes open for that one. We'll see what happens with it. Direct flight from Adelaide via Singapore via mid-December to Bangkok. One way? Oh my God. I forgot you brought your wife there, Andy. I forgot about that. Look at this out here now. Hard rain right now. The typhoon has been coming through here. Up farther north, up by where Jim stays, up by Chayapum and farther north. But we've been getting rain for the last, it is the rainy season, but it's been raining. It seems to me it's been raining quite a bit more than usual. There you are, Steve. Makati is where I usually stay. I think it's Sheridan. I think that's where it is. Is it the Sheridan or the Marriott? I don't remember. I haven't been there in quite some time. I went there for I covered a Pacquiao fight there once. When I worked in boxing, there was a couple of fights there that we had, and we had Filipino guys. And I do kind of miss going there because it was always a nice time when we went. But like I say, I prefer Thailand to the Philippines when it comes to living in a place. How does this place stay open? It's always empty. What place is that? Starbucks has cycles. There are times when this place is completely empty. Today is a Friday. Thursday and Friday are their slow days. That's what I've been told by the staff. But there are times when you come in and I'm the only person here. Right now there's four customers, including myself, and then there's 3 staff. But later on in the afternoon, the place will probably be full. Not buying a motorbike, don't have children in the U.S. Social Security is primary source of income, but I can only afford $450 for rent is enough, but you're going to have to look around. You're really going to need to look around to get the best deal possible. For that much money, you can rent a small house. You can get a townhouse, you can get a condo. I don't know about a house. It depends on where it is. That's pushing it. But a townhouse or a condo, you can easily get that. I mean, $12,000, you could get a place. Been to Boracay, been to Cebu, been to AC Balibago. So Steve, what's going on? What's happening with you? Where are you? What you do? If you're in Florida, do you get hit by the hurricane? Guys, remember to click that thumbs up. Doesn't cost you a thing. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Like I said, go to AnAmericanInBangkok.com. Get yourself a shirt, a hat, a mug, And in the near future, water bottles, mouse pads, all this other stuff. Look down in the description. Everything is right there for you. I am painting myself into not going back. I work from a laptop and average in a bad year 6. Oh, dude. If that's all you're making, $6,000 a year, that's all you're living off of, forget it. Forget about it, dude. You're not gonna make it off of $500 a month, buddy. You are going to be dirt poor. Hey, what's up, Dre? What's up, man? I could go for a little, I forget where we ate. Dre and I went and ate some little restaurant out there in Nonthaburi. I can't remember the name of the place or anything like that, but the food was pretty good if I remember correctly. Today I'm gonna go over to Happy Land Center and have a nice meal. Hopefully some of the places are open. I'm not eating vegetarian. Yeah, he won't listen though. He'll think he can do it, and you know, maybe he'll get by, but you'll be scraping by the skin of your balls. And I mean that literally. You will be scraping by the hair of your chinny chin chin. Hey, if there's anybody in Thailand right now, do me a favor and look and see, is the super chat button showing there? Because it shows on my videos. It's showing now, so which I was surprised because it never used to show. Yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe Bijan Bain is full of it, or he's dreaming. I guess if that's a bad year and you're making more, but I would say you probably need double that to really be able to live and not be worried about, it is on there, okay, cool. And not be worried about being out on the street, man. Or am I gonna eat today? Those kind of things. I don't know, man. If you're in the States, I don't remember what this guy said. Okay, good. That's good to know. Yeah, he's in the U.S. It says Social Security is his primary source of income. It's a medal. Oh, I think it's a super thanks. I think that's what it says. I don't see it on mine right now, but that's why I was asking. Yeah, I always wonder about guys who are like, I got $500 a month for the rest of my life. It says here, worst case scenario, I would come back to the States and try to hustle enough work to pay $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Just, I understand that, but you know, maybe you should work on, I don't know what your answer is, man, really. But $500 a month is really not good, man. Hey, thanks, Johnny Siam. Thank you very much. Yes, shows here, like Forrest said, life is like a box of chocolates. I could use a nice box. You know, I haven't had any chocolate, like a box of chocolate, like really good chocolate. It's been a while. Anyway, listen, dude, if you're coming over here to live off 500, I'm going to stop it right here because we got to go. But if you're going to try to live in a foreign country, I don't know what your experience level is. I don't know if you've been over here many, many times. You'd have a better chance if you've been here and you really know the place. I can tell you, if I had to live off of $500 a month here, I could do it, but it would suck. Your entertainment will be, you go for a walk and you'll be eating cheap, you know, the cheapest food you can find just so that you make sure you have enough money. Even the days of $1,000 a month, I think they're gone. Yeah, $300. Okay, so he's got $200 left to live, to pay electric, water, food. Ugh. If anything, I would say stay in the States, man. Rent a room. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I'm gonna have to wait until next year to have some trouble. Maybe I might. Yeah, well, he could get a Nicholas apartment. Nicholas's apartment? Listen, we pay about. What do we pay? We don't even pay $200. We pay $6,500, which is what, $180, $190 a month for him. Not only that, though, we give him money. He gets about 1,500 baht a week to live off of, and that's just for like food. That's not little extras. We give him extra for that. So that's another 6,000 baht. It's another. So he's living off of about $400 a month. $400 a month, and he goes to school. He goes out and gets food. That's his life. If you're an older guy, I guess you could sit and read books all day. You could do things. You can do it, but it's like, as a foreigner, why do you want to do that? Not gonna happen. Could sleep on the beach. He need to get a 3,000 baht apartment. Well, he has money for spending. Listen, we always make sure he's got a little money in his bank account. He's got his card. He knows how to do this. Listen, I told him the other day, I said, I have no cash. I need some cash. I'll transfer the money from my bank account to you, but give me like 500 baht. He's like, oh, okay. He opens up his phone, gets his little scanning code on the bank account, and he goes, pay me right here. I scan the code, boom, transferred the money right away. He's got it together. He knows what's going on. Ugh. The gig fund. You forget one thing. The only thing Nicholas needs money for when it comes to women is maybe to go out to eat. And he's a pretty sharp guy. He's not like gonna go, I've got 2,000 bahts in my name, I'm gonna take her out we're gonna spend all this money in a restaurant. He's not gonna do that. He'd take it to the little noodle shop that's down the street. He's got an apartment. Nicholas is pretty sharp. That's what I'm gonna say. He's pretty sharp. And Alex is sharp also, but Alex is very quiet about it. But he knows, he surprises me every once in a while. He'll come up and he'll go, and I'll start talking about something, he'll go, yeah, I already know that. You don't need to tell me about that. I'm like, okay. So hopefully Alex will be going to Kanchanaburi soon. I was talking about that a couple of weeks ago. He's supposed to go there, but I thought he told me he's going to be going this coming week. But he doesn't have any little thing planned. It's just him and the guys are going for a couple of days to hang out, and they're going to talk about what they want to do, and they're going to bring their instruments and all that kind of stuff. They're going to play music, and I don't know. I'm at the point now where he's a young man. He can do what he wants. Oh, I did that long ago. Alex is 21 and Nicholas is 19. They learned when they were about 7 years old. They learned about the birds and the bees. They already know. So, And they get to a point where they don't want to hear it from you. They don't need to hear. I already know. And my wife is, with me, the thing that they get irritated with me about is I'll say something like, hey, you didn't do the dishes. I cooked this meal, you go upstairs, you fall asleep, and it's the morning, you didn't do the dishes. What's going on? All right, I'll do it. No, do it now. Wait a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom. Then they go to the bathroom and they sneak into their room, or their rooms or whatever, or one of them will sneak into their room, and then it'll be like 2 hours go by and I go, hey, he still hasn't done the dishes. But like, get down here and do the dishes. I'm coming, I'll be there in a minute. And then it's, a half an hour later. That's what they do now. But all that other stuff, I don't hassle them about it. I leave that to my wife. She went over to Nicholas's place, and Nicholas, you're the fucking last person I'd let stay with me, buddy. You're lucky you're staying in this chat. Seriously. But her, she went over to Nicholas's a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, where did these long hairs come from, Nicholas? Nicholas is like, they're mine. She's like, you don't have long hair. He's like, they're mine. Okay, enough. They're mine. He didn't want to get into it with her. He's like, she wouldn't let up on me about the long hair. Do you have a girlfriend? Oh my God. Listen, at this age, at my age, I won't let anybody stay with me. I got friends from the U.S. I'm like, listen, you can get a hotel right down the street for $15 a month, $15 a night, $20 a night. I'll pay for it. I don't want people. They're in the space. We're in our space. If I want to walk around in my underwear that has holes in it, that's my prerogative. I don't want somebody down, sleeping on the sofa. I don't know if the figures can be relied on or not. I guess it depends on where they're coming from. But there is inflation here. Things are going up. Actually, I was talking about it the other day, and I always see the chicken. Chicken's 86 baht. It used to be 86 baht. Now it's 116 baht. It's not 106 baht. It's 116 baht. So it's gone up 30 baht. That's almost 40%. That's a hell of a lot. Pork prices are crazy. I don't even buy as much pork as I used to because the price has gone up quite a bit. And even if you go to get some cow moo at the Happy Land, it used to be 40 baht. Now it's 60 baht. So, it doesn't sound like much. But Thailand is the kind of place that will nickel and dime you to death. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's it, Andy. 500 bucks, you're existing. 1,000 baht, you can exist, and if you're really sharp and you do things right, you have a little bit of money left over. But you got to think about emergencies. You got to, if you have money in the bank that you can draw from, that's okay. But if you're only relying on that 500 bucks, that's nothing. I don't know. I mean, I think existing, who wants to just exist? $19,000 baht, listen, 19,000 baht, I mean, not enough. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys joining me today. We got about, how many minutes left here? 6 minutes, 5 minutes. Here's the other thing. If you are a single guy and you got 18, 19,000 18 or 19,000, thank you, to live off of. The minute that a Thai woman who you're trying to build a relationship with, the minute that she sees that's all you have, most of them are going to be like, especially if you're an older guy, they're going to look at you and go, no thank you. You know, I mean, you go out once in a while. It's 2,000 baht, 1,000 baht, 2,000 baht, 3,000 baht, and that's on the low end. So yeah, maybe you could squeeze it out, but you're going to be living in a shack when you take her back home. She's going to look and go, this guy's got nothing, you know. John, how is everything going with you? You're still in Thailand. How's life? How are things treating you? Where'd Steve go? He's in and out. He's here. He's like stick and move. I was wondering where is he? What's going on with him? You can't afford a bad month for the rest of your life. Yeah. I keep counting the days, baby. I keep counting the days to Social Security. Tony, there you are. What's happening? How you doing? And thank you very much. Hello and Choke D. Thank you, thank you. Today's the last day of the month, isn't it? Hey, listen, I got a quick question to ask you guys. Thank you, Choke D, to you, Tony. Appreciate it. I'm wondering, do you guys watch any YouTube shorts? Because I put them up and I don't give much thought to it. YouTube is like, you gotta put them up now. You should put them up now. Still single in Pattaya right now. Back to Bangkok on Sunday. Oh, you're dealing with issues in Bangkok, I take it. I think Sunday's a video. Saturday I'll be out. Like I said, I got a meeting with one of my buddies and maybe Jono, I don't know. He's broke, he's old, and he's got saggy balls. You watch the YouTube shorts once now and then. Okay. You know, they're trying to get people to use YouTube Shorts because they're trying to get a level up on TikTok. Bangkok is your safe place. Bangkok is my safe place too. I'm very comfortable here. Anybody else watch shorts? I think that YouTube needs to stick with what has helped them build this platform, which is the long form content. I think the little shorts, the TikTok is what it is. And let's face it, people, I'm finding out more and more that people have the attention span of gnats. I still like to watch documentaries that are 45 minutes long, movies that are 2.5 hours. I don't mind. But then I have an attention span. If they want to leg up on TikTok, they need more bouncy girls in bikinis. Well, supposedly they want to start paying their content providers, but that would probably not apply to me because the number of views that they want you to get is outrageous. It's something like 10 million views a month, which is crazy. So they're not looking to pay people. They're looking to entice people. But anyway, it's about time to go, guys. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm not sure when I'll be streaming again. maybe Wednesday of next week. What's today? Friday? Yeah, so 5 days, something like that. That's the schedule. Video going up on Friday. So that's about all we have time for right now. Appreciate everybody joining in the conversation and watching. Even the knuckleheads. There was really only one knucklehead today. Please do leave a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Andy, you take care. Johnny, Gennaro, 2 quarters. I still think of you as Longhorns. You always be Longhorns to me. Gennaro, everybody. John, Tom, D, Tom, yes, Polar Attack. Mr. Bijan, who I don't know if he even was serious about. I'm gonna come over and live there off of $500. Why don't you live off $263.75? You're better off getting, what do they call it? You know, where welfare. In the States, you got a platform. You know. Anyway, guys. Let's see if can I do this here. There we go. There's my final Y. Thank you very much. Don't forget, AmericanInBangkok.com. Click the like button. Smash the subscribe button. What else? The join button, too. That would be good. I'm still trying to build up the members. That always helps. And down below, you can become a Cash App or PayPal contributor. I even take crypto. Nobody's given me any crypto lately. I used to get crypto quite a bit. But the guys who, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know. Anyway, it's all down in the description. Yada, 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 and all that good stuff. So, thank you very much, and I will talk to you later. I am Scott, an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo jerkan mai. That's good luck, and see you when I see you. See you later. The rain has stopped. It's time to get on out of here.